Hundreds of artists and vendors from across the state of Montana gather at the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse for Bozeman's second annual Maid Fair.
And one person is dead and 3 people injured, including a child less than a year old after a collision on US 89.
Yeah, Montana Highway Patrol reports 39-year-old Livingston man driving a tractor was killed when 2 men in a construction vehicle attempted to pass that tractor as it turned left. Man had a baby with him, secured in a car seat but not strapped into the tractor. Both were thrown from that vehicle.
The man was pronounced dead at the scene between Livingston and Emigrant around 2 p.m. Friday afternoon. The infant survived with injuries. The driver of the construction vehicle, a 30-year-old Utah man, was transported to Livingston with injuries, and was the passenger. The 25-year-old man was from Helena.
And a Virginia man was struck and killed by a vehicle he was traveling in as a passenger after getting out to open a gate near Phillipsburg Saturday morning. Montana Highway Patrol tells us 75-year-old man was out of his vehicle when the 73-year-old Phillipsburg man driving hit the gas, ran over the passenger. Driver stopped shortly after and was not hurt.
And starting today, West Babcock Street between South 19th Avenue and South 15th Avenue will be closed for construction.
Yeah, vehicles will be detoured to Main Street or West Koch during construction. Detour and closure signage must be followed 24 hours a day, even if there is no construction activity.
Crews will be connecting new water, fire, and sewer services. They could be working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Project managers hope to complete the construction work within 2 weeks. Of course, weather permitting. Matt?
So, Matt, weather permitting, how are we going to do it?
Well, weather's not permitting most likely by the afternoon today.
Yeah,
we're going to go back over that. So if you missed all that, we'll talk about that in our road report coming up here in the next 20 minutes or so. Let's talk about what our weather is going to be doing through the day today. 2 to 5 inches expected by the evening for most of western Montana, 4 to 8 in the mountains, and gusty winds between 20 and 40 miles an hour. Right now the temperatures are into the teens. We'll actually consider this mild. Yeah, the overnight temperatures are going to start to drop below 0 for much of the area as that Arctic air begins to slide into place. Look for scattered snow showers, heavier snow through the afternoon and evening for the Bozeman area. Happens a little earlier in the day in Butte, closer to the noon hour. We're going to break this all down, talk about snow expectations. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
I expect it to be gone by the end of the week. No, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. 6:31. Now, it was a very busy weekend for artists and makers attending the Bozeman Maid Fair this weekend.
And today's Gabby Crevitt visited, and she shows us some of the fun.
The Bozeman Maid Fair took over the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse this weekend. The event, which was put on by Handmade Montana, is the state's largest art and handcrafted market. Handmade Montana organizes fairs and workshops every year, and this is the second year the fair is held in Bozeman.
We really appreciate everyone that comes out to all of our events. We kind of have a pretty strong fan base, and we're getting new customers interested in purchasing handcrafted goods.
Handmade Montana encourages people to shop and support local artisans and makers, and people attending the event this weekend did just that.
Supporting a local artist does more than just buying a piece of artwork. It's buying a story, buying sometimes an experience, and all those dollars that you spend locally stay local.
The Bozeman Maid Fair featured 200 artists from across the state selling everything in between handmade clothing, jewelry, fly fishing rods, and even handcrafted wooden chairs made of recycled wine barrels.
Mimi Matsuda is an artist from Bozeman and designed the poster for the Bozeman Maid Fair this year. Her favorite part of the fair? Interacting with customers and members of the community.
To meet people who have seen my art for years and then get the direct feedback, that I tell you, that's the best part of my job.
The next Maid Fair will be in Helena the weekend of November 23rd and 24th and will feature the same large community of makers from the event today.
Just having that collective family together, it is so inspiring and rewarding.
In Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Gabby tells us the weekend's Maid Fair also had a Halloween celebration for kids, which included trick-or-treating and costume contests. People were then encouraged to bring non-perishable foods for the food bank. You can learn more about how to become a vendor at the next Maid Fair by visiting our website.
And here's a story we've been following since its inception. After months of anticipation, the historic Sperry Chalet's construction is finally complete.
Yeah, project manager says crews worked 7 days a week for the past 6 months to finish the restoration. Chalet destroyed in the Sprague Fire of 2017, which burned thousands of acres in Glacier.
The multi-million-dollar reconstruction efforts included materials flown in by helicopter or packed up by mule train. Crews hiked up hills 7 miles to reach the chalet. The project manager says that they are thrilled the construction is complete, but will miss working on this very unique project.
Everyone involved in the project, from the top down, has really invested a lot. The crews on site, were on site 8 days a week, and then they'd get back to their families. But everyone throughout this project has gotten a pretty good emotional connection with the chalet up there, and to be honest, I wish we could extend it even further so we could keep working up there. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, what an office. Neil says the workers would still like to put a few finishing touches on there. Beds, curtains, and linens will be added before the chalet opens for the summer of 2020. Reservations for the chalet should go online early next year.
I hope they give the crews a couple of shots at some of those rooms. That's
no
fantastic.
kidding. That's so great.
6:35 now. The Agents of Discovery app getting kids and adults outdoors at some of Western Montana's recreation sites.
We got a demo of the app with some of the Hamilton students and the mayor himself.
Hamilton's River Park is one of 4 places across Montana that has the Agents of Discovery app, an app designed to give kids and adults something to do while at one of these recreation sites.
We were doing a scavenger hunt, I guess, where we walk around and answer questions about tribal, like Indian tribal.
And it would show different pictures and it would ask a different question, like what type of fish would the Nez Perce see, and you would choose 3 out of like 4 or 5 every time, and it would tell you if you got the right answer, and if you didn't, then it would cross out that answer that you chose, and then it would just be process of elimination from then.
The app in Hamilton provides a hands-on learning experience about the Nez Perce people who used to call the park home.
I liked it a lot because I think typically you think, oh, behind the desk learning. Well, today we were able to get out in nature and learn that way. So it's kind of nice to have the hands-on too, because you really do see, oh, okay, I can see them accessing the river. I could see them catching fish, hunting deer, putting up their teepee. So it just kind of gives that, experience, or you're personally there, you're saying, oh, this is what they're doing.
The city of Hamilton approved the app's usage in the park and hopes that it might attract visitors to the area.
I think the thought process behind it is people who are traveling and doing the app, I think they have a passport and things like that, so they can stop on the road. They can say, oh, Mom, there's an Agents of Discovery app down here at River Park, so they can access the park and hopefully stay and have lunch, maybe learn a little bit more about the town as they're traveling through.
In Hamilton, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
Now, Connor tells us the app is also available at Lake Como, St. Mary's Mission, and Travelers Rest near Lolo.
Those kids are having a blast.
That's pretty cool stuff.
That is really neat.
Get them outside.
Yes. And the debate between grass-fed and grain-fed in the cattle industry divides many ranchers and consumers. Zachary Jones of Yellowstone Grass-Fed Beef believes that these divides can be lessened through respectful dialogue.
In this week's Under the Big Sky bonus video, Zachary Jones walks us through some of the fundamental differences between the two practices.
Under the Big Sky is sponsored by Rocky Mountain Vein Clinic and Markovich Real Estate.
I was at a restaurant in Lawrence, Kansas. One of the specials was a Kansas City strip. I asked if it was grass-fed or grain-fed. The server said, I'm actually not sure. And I said, no problem. I'm hanging out for a while, just when you get a chance, ask. I'd appreciate that. This guy sitting next to me, he's like, grass-fed beef is nothing but a huge marketing ploy. Grain-fed beef is way better. It's like, whoa. I explained that we have a local artisanal grass-fed beef company. We have for 10 years, and I've managed ranches, in Florida and Montana and South Dakota and Hawaii and New Zealand. And it's not that I know everything, but I'm pretty informed on the topic. He was like, I think I came on a little strong. I'd like to actually hear a little bit more. I started with something that's pretty much unarguable. Cattle, or large ruminant animals, have evolved in this world to eat grass. And not just grass, forbs and legumes and trees and brush and scrub and you name it. That's what they're meant to eat. Grain-fed beef in a feedlot situation, they may only be eating maybe 5 different plants. On Two Dot Land Livestock here, we probably have 250 to 300 different species. The diversity of plants that these animals are eating creates a more diverse mineral and nutrient profile in the meat, and therefore healthier for you too. Also, grain-fed beef has more unhealthy fats in it, especially if consumed all the time. So we had actually a decent conversation, so that was good. Now it'd be great if we had an opportunity to have discussions like that with lots of people. I think we as ranchers, especially holistic thinkers, we have an obligation to have those conversations when they come up, but do it in a way that doesn't disrespect or make a judgment.
Now you can watch the full Yellowstone grass-fed beef story at underthebigsky.com. I'm going to continue to eat both until I can come up with an answer which I like best.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Beef.
Legume beef.
Legume beef.
We do have to take a quick break. Let's take a look ahead on Montana this morning, as well as your headlines at 7 on CBS this morning.
It is the new way to work. But as co-working spaces are popping up all over the country, some of them are targeting a specific clientele. I'm Joy Benedict in Los Angeles, where many entrepreneurs are finding that a female-focused environment is helping them succeed.
Flu season is fast approaching. I'm Lisa Mateo with what you need to know to protect your family.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, we look at what's next for ISIS in the wake of its leader's death, plus what U.S. intelligence officials hope to learn from the evidence taken in the weekend raid. Also, what you need to know to protect your bank account from a growing and sophisticated texting scam. We'll see you at 7.